Hi, and welcome to Orange County Live. This program is part of my commitment to engage you, our citizens, by connecting you directly to your local government. I strongly believe that it takes all of us to make this community the best place to live, to work, to learn, and to raise a family. So whether you're watching us live on cable, on your computer, or even on your smartphone, this is a great opportunity to engage me and key members of your county staff. I hope this format will help you participate in your local government and learn how to access all of our services. Thanks for joining us. Now, let's get down to business.
Hello, I'm Laureen Martinez. Welcome to Orange County Live. Today's program is all about the important role the arts play in our lives. We'll touch on everything from how the arts help develop a child's motor, language, and decision-making skills to getting better grades in school and how the arts can improve a region's economy. Now, we want you to be part of our conversation by calling 407-685-LIVE. That's 407-685-5483. Now, during the program, your calls will be answered by Orange County 311 operators. They are standing by and ready to transfer you directly here to our live studio. You can also send us an email to live@orangetvfl.net, or you can chat with Carol Burkett by going to orangetvfl.net and clicking on the chat button. Now, to help get that conversation going online, Carol has our first topic of the night. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Laureen. Thank you. We're excited about tonight's program, and we do have a great question to get this topic off and running. What are your first memories of creating art, or how has art changed or influenced you or your children? We want to hear from you. Such an important topic. Lots of things to get covered in our chat room, and to be a part of the conversation, it's as easy as going to orangetvfl.net and click on the chat button. This is a conversation tonight you don't want to miss. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room and hearing your thoughts and opinions on this issue. Thanks so much, Laureen.
All right, thanks, Carol. Now remember, throughout the program, you can call us at 407-685-LIVE. In recent years, schools in the United States have shifted heavily toward Common Core subjects of reading and math. But what about the arts? Studies show simple creative activities are some of the building blocks of child development. Today, learning to create and appreciate visual aesthetics may be more important than ever to the development of the next generation of children. So let's start out by discussing how the arts help a child develop the skills needed to succeed in life. Now, joining me is Dr. Mary Palmer. She is president of Mary Palmer and Associates, an expert in the field of art education. We have Scott Evans, who is the coordinator of visual performing arts, physical and health education for Orange County Public Schools. And Jennifer Bonner is here. She is the children's theater coordinator for the Orlando Shakespeare Theater. So thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate your presence here. So Dr. Palmer, let's start with you. What type of developmental skills do young children learn by being involved in the arts?
Well, the arts are immersive and really touch many, many facets of childhood development. And the early years are really critically important for engagement with the arts. And as we think about the arts, we're really thinking about music, drama, dance, and visual arts. And the arts get into our senses, and that whole experience of awakening your senses is something that the arts do for children, because we have to see in order to engage with visual art. We listen and use our ears to engage with music or dance, and certainly the great movement aspects that dance provides, and drama gives a whole lot of opportunity for engaging their bodies and working in that way. But these developmental skills go beyond the feeling of their senses. Mm-hmm. The developmental skills also are really engaging little children's brains. And we know that at this early age, brain development is really at its peak. And so we want to fill those brains with lots more synapses, mm-hmm. so they can be even better brains. And the arts now, we know, actually are building better brains for children. And so we experience all of that kind of thing in these developmental skills.
So is this why when I sing and dance in front of my 7-month-old, he is just enthralled?
Absolutely.
So it's never really, it's never too young, really.
Absolutely. No. In fact, the Hungarian composer educator Zoltán Kodály said that a child's music education begins 9 months before the mother is born. And so what you are bringing to your child is really critically important, and 7 months is definitely not too early.
And Scott, you wanted to jump in there.
Well, yeah, there's some research too that shows that from birth to about 9 years old is really the critical time for young people to have those music experiences, arts experiences. It really establishes a foundation for them to continue on in the creative arts as they go. So really, it's never too early to start.
Well, can you tell us what the Shakespeare Theater does for children?
Wow, we have so much.
Where do you begin?
Where do we begin? We have a field trip program. We have school matinees of what we call theater for young audiences, and that we sort of focus on grades pre-K really to 2 or 3. We have classes throughout the year. We have summer camps for all ages in many, many different subjects. Last year we had a really great collaboration with Mary Pope Osborne and her Magic Tree House book series, and we did the world premiere of A Night in New Orleans, a Magic Tree House adventure, and she came, and it was a very big collaborative effort between the Orlando Shakespeare Theater and Orange County Public Schools and Mary Pope Osborne and her foundation and JetBlue. And we actually provided tickets to all 4th grade, I believe.
4th grade Title I.
4th grade Title I students in Orange County to come and see our show, and then they all left with a copy of Mary Pope Osborne's book. So that was one of the really special things that we've done very recently. And this year we have Flat Stanley and James and the Giant Peach coming. So we think it's very important for children to come into the theater to see the collaborative effort, to see the just the goings on. It's immediate. Theater is immediate, and it's there, and it's exciting. And for them to experience that is something very different than watching television.
And an important piece of what Jennifer talked about too is that we gave the kids an experience before they went to the theater. So they actually read the book beforehand, talked about the characters, so they knew what they were going to see and knew more about what they were going to experience. So it was a much more engaging experience. And then they got to see this book that they read come to life on the stage. So it really is such an immersive experience that starts in the classroom, reading the book, to actually seeing it on stage, and then coming back to their classrooms and having discussions about what they saw and experienced.
So it's almost like their imagination kind of coming to life, and then they're able to interact and talk about it with other children.
We have a wonderful program too that Mary helped us create called Magic Tree House Alive, which is a workshop that goes into the schools, and the students in the classroom create their own Magic Tree House book. So it keeps their imaginations going. They come see the play, they read the books, then they have the workshop in school, and it's engaging constantly.
So can you talk about kind of the social and the emotional skills that get developed through the arts?
Absolutely. I mean, this is another avenue. The arts are actually very social. And so when children sing, they sing with someone. When they dance, and you know, when your baby came home, your baby's, one of his, for her, first reactions was moving. They move and they wiggle, and that's a foundation for dance, and how we can interact with that baby to help that baby respond to the sounds. We dance with the baby, and it forms a bond between parent and child, and between grandparent and child. The emotional development, the arts give children opportunity to look at things from many different perspectives and help us to engage in building relationships in different ways, and that helps us with our emotional development as well.
Okay, so how do you know when is a good age to get them into kind of a program or a more organized kind of setting with, whether it be, you know, music lessons or dance lessons? What's a good age?
I think that at the earlier ages, after birth and right up until maybe 5 years old, is a great opportunity for less structured arts experiences, so more creative play, exploration of different arts experiences, exploration of movement, and performing or creating artwork without too many parameters, really just about exploration. When they get into school age, 5-year-old and up, then you start to have a little more structured where you're learning about steady beat and you're starting to expose kids to actual literacy in all of the different arts forms. And at that point, it's depending on what your goals are with your child, whether you want to put them in private lessons. There's a lot of different opinions about that. But for example, we have young parents that come to me when I taught elementary school that say, oh, I want my daughter to be in voice lessons right now. My recommendation is always, it's too early in elementary school to do that. Better off taking piano lessons now and learning some of the basics of music and the foundations of music literacy, and then maybe in middle school or high school going into piano lessons. However, violin, we know the Suzuki method starts much earlier than that. So there's variations on how you would begin, but it's really about what your goals are for your child in the art. But most important is that you give them that chance to play first, to just experience through play the arts.
I was going to say,
part of that play is providing the materials for the child to play with and then helping to engage that child. But this is where the child is beginning to develop their own choices and their opportunities. And so a parent, a grandparent, giving the child those opportunities. So putting a crayon, making it available, but making different media available. So they paint, they use a crayon, they use a marker, and they have those experiences. Sometimes we want to give them everything and we kind of overwhelm them. And so instead of giving them 5 markers when they're 2 years old, give them 1 and let them experiment with that and play with that and talk about what they have created. So it's a line, it's a curved line, it's a jagged line, because children at this early age are using and thinking through the arts in all that they're doing. And so as they are moving, they're expressing something that they're hearing or experiencing through their movement. They imitate their parents' voices. They imitate
I hope my son doesn't imitate my voice.
He will. They imitate what they hear and then send it back. And so that kind of engagement really helps their social development as well and brings them in to become a part of what's going on and help language development. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's take our first caller for the segment. We have Lorenzo on the line out in Windermere. Hi, Lorenzo. What's your question?
Good afternoon. Listen, I really enjoy this program. Has any research been done that suggests a child can experience a catching up effect, let's say if they wait until middle school or later to be exposed to the arts?
I believe you said a catching up
A
effect.
catching up. So do you have to start at this early age? I think is what Lorenzo is kind of interested. It is great if children do start at an early age, but can they catch up in middle school? Can they catch up in older life? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a matter of becoming involved. There might be a longer learning period if they start later, but no, you have not lost the opportunity. It's still good. It's still there.
That's what's so wonderful about the arts. You can anytime, just try, you can jump in at any point. I personally am teaching myself how to play the piano right now because I've always wanted to. So it's something that you can do at any point, and like Mary said, it just might take a little longer sometimes because our brains aren't quite as much like sponges. But
Exactly.
And you don't have to be a prodigy, you have to just enjoy it. So
you have to enjoy it, and you have to not be afraid to fail. That's what's so wonderful about the arts. You cannot fail. You have to be brave enough to try, and we encourage that. And we encourage mistakes because that's how you learn. That's what I think so wonderful about them.
Well, let's check in with Carol, who's over in the chat room. Hey, Carol, what's the discussion been like online?
Hi, Laureen. We've had some great dialogue in our chat room already with people recollecting their first experiences, from viewers talking about finger painting, which was one of mine, by the way, no Picasso here, but to band. And we had one of our chat room viewers talking about playing an instrument in elementary school that led to middle school, high school. And what was really neat is it turned into a music scholarship and helped pay for a large part of his tuition. And I think that sometimes not fully realized when we do participate in the arts, there's some great benefits, and certainly college tuition through a dance or art or music scholarship is a great way to go. So I look forward to more of the conversation. It's such a great topic tonight, and you can join this conversation tonight. Tell us about your art experience at orangetvfl.net and click on the chat button. Thanks, Laureen.
All right, thanks, Carol. Well, tell us about your art experiences. How did you all get involved in the arts? And we only have about 3 minutes left in this segment, so.
Okay, well, for me, it was starting with wanting to play the piano. In my home, there was a lot of music. I wanted to play the piano, which involved getting a piano. And so we got the piano, and then the piano was the love of my life.
Wonderful. What about you?
For me as well, my family, both my parents were music educators, and I couldn't wait to get to play the piano. That was my goal, was to learn how to play the piano. I want to be a pianist, and that's all I focused on. So
And do you still play the piano?
Absolutely, still play the piano, yes.
And you're learning, Jennifer, to play
I
the
am
piano.
learning. I'm an actor. That's my love, and I wanted to be an actor since I was 3, and I watched Linda Carter play Wonder Woman on television. And I told my mom that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, and she told me that I couldn't, that superheroes weren't real, and that she was an actor. And I decided that then that's what I had to be. So ever since then, that's what I've wanted to do. And it's grown since then, so.
It was one of my favorites as well. All right, well, I would like to thank our experts for joining us. Some of them will be back. We're going to take a short break, but keep your questions coming. Call 407-685-LIVE. Email us at live@orangetvfl.net and chat at orangetvfl.net with Carol. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Orange County Live.